shop and I'm gonna show you a guitar amp today, and it's this one. This is actually a full-on guitar amp made by Victory from the UK. It is the Duchess, which is also available in a head version with full tubes preamp and power amp section, and this has got a full tube preamp section. More on that in a little bit. Let me just tell you a little bit what I've got going on over here. I am holding a Charvel guitar, and from my Charvel guitar I'm going into a Sir Eclipse Overdrive, which is in front of the Duchess, the pedal guitar amp, and in the effects loop, which it has, there is a Boss DD200 delay. Also, I've got a looper right before me on the ground, and that I will be using to play a few riffs and chords, and then I'm gonna play that loop and I'm gonna turn the knobs so that you can get a really clear idea of what this amp can sound like. But before we do that, let's have a look at this pedal and what features it actually has. So from the left to the right, on the top here I have a 3-band EQ for my bass, middle and treble section. Then I've got a volume for the preamp section and a master volume. And then there's also a tremolo on here, which is pretty nice to have that on a amp in a pedal format like this. It's a tremolo depth, tremolo speed. And there is a reverb here, which is just a single digital reverb, and it becomes more as you turn it. That's all the settings that you can change about it, but it's a really nice verb. We're going to be hearing that in a bit. Then also on the side there's this little grill thing, which is actually the fan. It has to be on all the time, and it is on all the time. It's not that loud, it's really doable. Then there is the input jack right over here, which once again has my Sir Eclipse. Then let me have a look. Ah, yeah, there's the foot switch for the tremolo. So you can imagine if you're on a stage and you want to turn your tremolo on or off, you can either have it here, or if you have this sitting somewhere else on your board, or maybe behind you like you would with a normal amp, then you can choose to foot switch the tremolo. Then you have the send and return of the effects loop. There is also a direct out, so that means you can actually just send this signal to maybe a different speaker simulator, which nowadays there are a lot of different speaker simulators, and you can use that to record straight into your interface or send that signal straight to a front of house during a live gig. Also, a nice feature which is also available on the other guitar amp models by Victory is the fact that they have a 500 milliamp 9 volt DC out. So that means that these pedals right in front of me over here are actually being powered by the Duchess. And it's quite enough, 500 milliamps, to power a few pedals. You could even do more than what I have right here. But this gives you a general idea of what's possible. That is really a cool feature if you think about it, that normally you would have to get like an AC adapter, or you had to get a daisy chain. Maybe you've had a lot of pedals, you had to get like a Voodoo Lab power block. But with this, you only need to bring this and a daisy chain cable, and then you can power your rest of your pedals. Pretty neat. Is the speaker out, and I have that running into a 1x12 by Victory, and that is being mic'd up with a Heil P30B, and that's going straight into my interface into Ableton. Alright, I am going to play a little chord progression, and then I'm going to loop it like I said before, and I'm going to turn the knob so that you can hear what this amp is capable of. It doesn't have a dedicated gain knob, so basically you should see this as like a volume for your preamp, and then you can use the master volume to to control what's going to be your definite output in the end. And yeah, so let's just start and see where we're gonna end up. Okay. So you get a general idea right now, and I guess that you have realized at this point that it doesn't have like a gain section. So this is really to be used for players actually like me, who use a clean guitar amp and then use pedals to get their overdrive and such. So it's a really nice clean format to use it like that. And I'm gonna show you a few examples as well using the Sur Eclipse, so that you can see and hear how the amp actually reacts to having pedals in the front of it. Other than that, the reverb is very usable, I'd say. Like all the way up, it was still not too much, not completely drowning in wetness. And yeah, the tremolo kicks in quite quickly. So let's just play that little loop one more time. So right there at like only quarter open, I'm already getting the amount of depth that I would want in a tremolo. But the cool thing is that when you turn it up all the way, you actually get like a really choppy kind of effect. So you can really experiment with that on your own. Other than that, it responds quite reasonably well, just fine like any other EQ sections on an amp. And this is actually with the preamp all the way up, and it's still pretty clean. It's got some bite, like you're using a pedal to push the front of the amp, but it's still very usable as a clean palette. So let me just do the same thing, and then I'm gonna turn on my Sur Eclipse over here. Yeah, let's just have a look. Let's see how this is. So again, my clean tone. Actually, I have that pretty loud. Let me turn that down. I think it actually responds quite like a tube amp, really not being bothered by the fact that it has a Class D power amp section. So yeah, it actually has, if I haven't told that before, it's got 4 preamp tubes in it, 1 EC900 preamp tube, and it's got 3 CV4014 preamp tubes in there, and it's got a Class D power amp section. Yeah, that's about it. And besides the fact, of course, that it only weighs 1.5 kilograms instead of having like this big heavy tube amp. This is actually really nice to take with you to a gig or anything. All you need to bring is a speaker cabinet or a speaker simulator if you want to go direct. Let's listen to a few more examples. This time I'm gonna play something clean again, and I'm gonna add the delay in on the send and return loop. So let me just get this loop out of the way, and yeah, let's just try something else. was some 8 dot delay going on there a little bit at the end. It sounds really transparent, like the send and return loop is actually causing the delay to be combined with your signal instead of having it in front of the amp. Like if you don't have an effects loop, then it might get a little bit muddy, your overdrives and everything is going through it. And right now you actually have a way more cleaner delay. That's why it sounds so beautifully bright and transparent. Yeah, we could try to do something a little bit more with some overdrive. Let me just show you how it sounds if you have like a lead tone going on in front of your clean amp. So once again, this is my clean sound. On my neck pickup. This is with the so once again clean. So that's a lot of trill on that, but it really eats pedals, man. It sounds killer. I gotta say that the overdrive is of course pretty cool overdrive by Sir themselves, but yeah, I like the way how it responds to them, and I'm not sure if it has to do with the tubes that are in it or the Class D power amp section, but the way that they behave together really make for a nice usable sound. So let's try it again. I'm gonna add some delay so that you can hear how that is gonna show up on top. Let me just get that. It's a bit much. That's pretty loud, man. And I've got my master volume set at like not even a quarter. Maybe some of you noticed, which is a nice thing to have a little bit shout out to this Eclipse. When I was switching these channels, one has got the gain pretty much open and this one's almost open. What it does is that this actually has two completely the same overdrives in it. Only it has a voice control to control both. So basically you've got an EQ section for one side, EQ section for another, and a presence kind of control here in the middle. And when I'm switching, you are not hearing like I'm going from a completely different sound to another completely different sound. It actually sounds exactly the same, only with less gain. So yeah, that's pretty neat. Okay, all in all, I hope you got a pretty general idea of what this unit is capable of. It's really for the player, like I said once again, who uses pedals in front of the ramp. And yeah, the idea of this, having it on the floor with your pedals and being able to feed all of them with power, I think that's a really cool addition to have on your rig actually. Consider it 1.5 kilos, not pounds, and an amp in a box. All you need to bring is this either a speaker simulator or a cab. You can have everything on the floor. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time again. Also watch out for the Kraken video if you haven't seen that yet, and yeah, hope to see you next time. See ya.